Oh, should I record it
I am
on top?
We're on, Joelle. I think we're good.
Okay.
Been working really well. So we're hey.
Welcome everyone.
Hey. Hello.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Oh.
Guten Tag.
Does anyone speak Italian?
Buongiorno.
Oh, say it again.
Si parla bene, molto bene.
Joakim.
Buonasera.
Say it,
Oh.
Joakim, say it. Buongiorno.
Buongiorno.
That was so sexy.
Okay.
Oh.
Sorry. Yes, we're this is a very interesting topic, I must say. When we're choosing it, to playing with it, talking about it, and being with you guys together with the topic. It's called "Are You Avoiding Contribution?" And it's kind of been personally for me going everywhere in my universe looking at that. Somebody's loud in the background noise. TV or something. Kids. I'm like, who should I mute? I don't know. And it's personally, it's just been a interesting ride along the way. I'm like, no, that was not right. Diana, I muted you, just so you know. Get unmute if you want to talk again. So we want to invite you guys to explore this with us. And just see what space we can create, what possibilities, what does contribution mean, and really from a totally new space, undefined, what else is possible to create in an hourish about contribution and receiving it. And I can see how many areas I receive certain bits, more, very little, totally ignore it, don't want to see it, resist it even when it could be so freaking easy. I've changed a lot of it, but there's so much more. It's like when you kind of see how much you have, it's just like, oh God, there's so much. So that's been very interesting, getting a lot of awareness in the last week, just asking questions about these calls. It's already like, what a gift. Joelle, Joakim, hand it over to you guys.
Yeah, well, for me, that's been like a 1 year ride, just receiving contribution from people. It's basically, Lisen, since we met in Stockholm last time, and there were energy there that I just had to ask you questions because it was so strong. And well, in my life, I'm really good at gifting, which probably a lot of you guys are as well. And it's so much easy. It's so much easier to gift than to actually receive from, like, whether it's any sort of contribution from anyone, because you need to be, or from my point of view, you need to be vulnerable and lower your barriers if you're up to receiving. Well, it was you totally opened that door for me, Lisa, so thank you very much. I haven't told you.
Now for me, contribution, what is it? It's okay. What is it? What is it really? Is it being a waiter and then getting $1 million tip? Is it doing something and getting more than you expected, or just getting what you expected? What is this thing called contribution? And I've asked so many questions because I really didn't grasp exactly what it was. It's not, in asking questions, it's not a doing, it's just a being. It's not about, what do you say, about receiving this for that. It's like, back and forth, back and forth. It's just the fact of being, for me, my point of view. But I really had, what, of course, if you define it, what is contribution? What is it for you? That's my question.
I'd really like to hear from you guys that are on this, I was going to say call, but assume about contribution. Like, where are you at that? What's the energy that shows up for you? Do you have any points of views or experiences? And we can go lots of places. I have a lot of things just bubbling in my head. But I would really like just to open the space for you guys, because I think when we create it together, it's going to be a little bit potent. And also really welcome if we were all just could lower our barriers, like when it was Joe's saying, like lowering our barriers, like really willing to receive something totally different and maybe unexpected.
Yeah, because I think that, like, for me, it's a contribution can be both gifting and receiving. Like, you can be a contribution to someone, and someone can be a contribution for you, but in the end you're gonna have to lower your barriers and be, well, for me it is vulnerable, because that's a talent itself to receive. I don't know, what do you guys reckon about this? Don't be shy.
Be shy but talk.
Yeah. Yeah, because we can talk.
I'm really doing my best now. I'm just joking.
Oh, Gudrun.
Yeah, I think being me or showing up as me, being honest, is a contribution to everybody. An invitation to be him or herself.
Cool. I like it.
Yeah, because that makes sense to me, Gudrun, because to be a contribution then you need to step up and acknowledge yourself too. Is that what you mean? Like, to claim yourself and then, or
yeah, to stand up for myself and being myself, an invitation to others to show that I'm vulnerable, so others can be as well.
Yeah, that's a really good point, actually, to make yourself vulnerable, valuable. So, because that's also a thing that I've been looking at a lot. I don't know if this reads to you guys, but to not, of course, not to judge my capabilities or what I can contribute with, or because there's been so many times in at least my life that I thought that, well, with this knowledge, no one needs to know about this, or this talent that I have, well, who would like to buy this, or who would like to have it? It's like, no one. I already decided.
For me, it's definitely, the receiving part is definitely about value, about my value. And I look at it often, and there's still room for improvement. And I keep looking at it because I can totally see that it follows completely when I'm in a down period. I can't receive very much because I don't think highly of myself. And when I'm better, I get so much. And that's definitely for me because of that I'm willing to receive it, because I put value to myself. But not a lot, but yeah, there is something there that I can't really break through on. Even though I know it in my brain, I can't really figure out how to get those barriers away, and how to yeah. Does it make sense?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, not at all. Yeah, well, yeah, totally. Because you always have to be, in the end, it's always gonna be about being you, just like Gudrun said, but you said it in a different way, I guess. Like, to actually claim and acknowledge that you're special, or that Yeah, you need to be you anyhow.
I like the energy of like value when you look at contribution and value,
Mm.
and is there any judgments or conclusions what you can receive or what contribution, for example, the universe can be to you depending on what value or point of view you have towards yourself? Like, so if you value yourself a lot, you'll receive a lot, or if you value yourself a little, will you only receive a little? Is there anything going on in your universe where you're having a point of view about your value and towards if you then cannot receive, if you're crappy or not at receiving, and how does it affect, for example, anybody contributing to you, like people, nature, animals, universe?
Mm.
Question. It's just exploring it also really together. I've seen it a lot in my business because I can work a lot and create a lot, and it's very often from my effort for what I'm being or doing, creating it. And then there's a different part where I looked how much, and I do great things, and I also see how limited it is, my creations, even if they could be really great in somebody else's eyes. Because I've often seen that I definitely, like when I'm really determined, sometimes also like blindfold myself instead of like, wow, there's a whole world there. Maybe willing to contribute in a way if I would let down on my barriers, if I would let go of all my control, if I was willing to not be me creating. So we're creating a world of kingdom of we, what would happen then? So I'm just like looking at all those energies that are different to create from.
For me, there is a lot of different places to go with the receiving, because there's, like you mentioned, Lisa, and there's receiving from people and asking for a contribution from other people. That's one part, but there's also the whole energetic part of asking the universe, receiving from the universe, and receiving from your surroundings and from nature and from all of those different places. It's like I'm working a lot on that area at the moment, looking at all those different places where I'm actually not. I'll do it in short moments where I realize, oh, I could actually ask for this, or I could actually ask for more of that in my life, and I could ask out in the universe, and I could ask whoever is around me. But I tend to do it in little short short moments. I would so like to expand that out to just be a SpongeBob of receiving contribution.
So it's interesting because if you look at what receiving in that moment means to you, it starts being defined.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you. Yes, it does.
So everything we're going for that, because if you experience something, you are aware of your limitation, and then we go to something else, and it really becomes a little bit more definition. So everywhere we're defining our receiving and contribution, really turn and create it.
Yes.
Right around book. Oh, my insurance boys and beyonds.
Thank you.
I can so see it myself too. Like, oh wow, that's definitely going to limit something, because it's so undefinable. If you really tap into it, I'm like, yeah, look, what is required for us to be that fully? Because even go. Sorry.
Okay. When I heard you saying that, so something popped up to my mind that for me, when I really, really need the most contribution, then it's when I forget the most to ask for contribution. It's like I just forget it.
Yes. What would it take to be and remember that? And also, because I think sometimes if we forget, we might also not be willing to. I don't know. And sometimes I see, okay, that might not be yet the most natural energy in your life to have it. And that's where I see personally that I reject it. Not that you forget it. I could definitely I have to do it on my own. Like we have all this weird ways of doing some things that do not really allow anybody or anything to contribute.
Yes, it's definitely avoiding, like forgetting. It's not that I really forget. I don't forget things. It's avoiding.
Mm. Mm. So, and also, I look at what has happened. So, how much of what you desire to achieve or to create are you just not looking at the awareness of what it is exactly? Are you just trying to fit in the context? Are you aware more? You're talking about definition. As soon as you define something, then you're already, apart from it. So how much of what you want to create, you're creating this moment, these definitions, and not being aware of all the points of view that you have? What if you took a situation or a contribution or whatever, and you would become aware of the beliefs that you have, of all the points of view that you have, and of all the points of view that other people have really put on you? I mean, sometimes you go and you say, oh, I wanted to create this. And then you realize that in fact, in what you're wanting to achieve, it's dependent on points of view of all these other people. So it's already, there's no room for contribution, right? I get excited. And I'm trying to hold back. It's really hard.
So we'll do a clearing for Joelle. Everywhere she's holding back. No.
Yes. Please.
This is also like, we're not just taking over each other. We're not doing it like it's also like I talk a lot, so I was like, I have to shut up. I'm and she's so bubbly and wants to laugh all the time. So it's so funny how we're being us. It's a little bit out of control, definitely. And it's fun to be that. And I sometimes wonder how much we try to be something so it will work for everybody, where it also just stops the joy. Because I was like, oh God, we're being a little bit correct now or serious?
I know. It's so hard.
Like, no, that's not me. That's not Joelle. Joakim. Yeah,
it's
well.
like really.
Oh.
Yvonne, did you?
Yeah, yes, I did.
Oh.
Actually, I don't think I even get the idea to ask for a contribution. I'm doing energy pools. I've done it now for about 45 days. And I think it's easier for me that way. And also now Dane have this ask. So I'm also participating in the Facebook group of asking. I read what others ask for, but I have not yet done so many ask myself. So it's and I have and that's history, but I have always have this, okay, I am on my own. I have to do all by myself, because in the start it was to survive. Now it's more like, okay, my way is the best way. So yeah, so I think it's difficult. I don't get the idea to ask for contribution.
So can I play with you a little?
Yeah, please.
So, I can't stop myself. So would you share with us one thing you'd like to have in your life?
Sorry, one more.
So is there anything that you know on top of your head that you desire, that you would like to ask for?
Yeah, I would like to have more clients and more participants in my classes and so.
Cool. A little bit more joy in it. A little bit more excitement. Good.
Yeah.
I was like, that was a bit serious too, but I'm just joking. I know. So would you be willing to allow us to contribute to you?
Yes.
Yes.
I was like, who said yes?
It wasn't you first. It was somebody
I'm ready.
else.
It was like, it was in my head, but it came out.
That's Joelle. She's a translator, so she's correct. It wasn't one head. She has to think. So
But I can also feel that it's not a big yes. I can also feel that the energy is also going down a little bit. So I don't think it's a 100% yes.
So you mean a 100% yes that you want more clients?
No, contribution. You asked if I would like to have contribution from you others, wasn't it?
Yeah. No, I had two questions. Like, yeah, that's why I'm wondering. I got confused when you said you didn't want contribution. I'm like, okay. Oh, that can also be. I was like, I didn't expect that one. You confused me a little bit. But yes, I get that. Okay. What shows up with that energy? Like when I asked if you would allow us.
Yeah, the words that pops up in my head is something that I get smaller, and I'm something like not worth it or something like that.
So, what is it possible? You're not worth it on the bookshelf. You can sit there and watch it look really nice for a couple of minutes. You're gonna have it back. You're gonna have it back. We're just gonna put it a little bit on the side.
Yeah.
Would you let go a little bit of control?
Yeah.
Cool. One thing also, what I've noticed energetically sometimes when I'm playing a little bit with the energies, but when Joakim says, is this vulnerability? Yeah, if we all are lowering our barriers and would love to contribute to you, for example, it would be cool when you lowered your barriers, what shows up then?
Yeah.
And it might even be uncomfortable.
I will manage, I think.
Yeah. We're not on death row. We're not dying.
No. Definitely not. No.
So what is this energy that doesn't allow it just to, yes, we're doing it. Yes, of course I want contribution. Oh my God, I have no idea what's going to happen. This is scary, whatever. What is it that doesn't allow you to go into just a yes, hell yes, I don't care what shows up or how it shows up. I'm freaking just going to say yes.
I'm afraid of something, but I'm not aware. Am I? No.
Oh, don't press that button on me. I have too much fun with it.
Okay.
No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. It's just the most fun tool for me to explore because it was so ridiculous. Anybody can say I'm scared and you can't do anything after that. You're like, it's an awesome tool to stop everything in your life. Everything. It's just like super cute designed energies. What if you use every energy of being scared or afraid or anything to create your life with? All those energies you use against you, would you be willing to use them for you?
Yeah.
Everything doesn't allow you. Can we just try and create that?
Yes.
I'm gonna manifest all my shorts by the end.
And also, can I just say, Yvonne, that everywhere where you try to control in what way the contribution will show up, or what will it taste like, what would it look like, and so everywhere where you try to control any type of contribution, you wouldn't uncreate and destroy it.
Yes.
Thank you. Because it's this, what I don't know if that's what you're doing, but this, I think this is what we normally are doing, like trying to control in what way the contribution would look like, or at least I do it all the time.
You don't want the bad contribution or the bad energies, right?
No.
Good stuff.
You want to have full control of what it will turn up, how it will turn up.
For me right now is triggering something about, if I need contribution from others, I was not good enough to do it myself.
Oh, yeah. That one.
You're correct. You're crappy.
Yeah, something like that, Hannah, is also in me. Yeah.
I think we all can kind of perceive that when we are with that. Like, in any way, it's like asking for help when you don't need it, or somebody opens the door and you're like, no, I can do that myself. Like women have that tendency a lot to reject men.
Yeah.
And when they want to contribute, it's incredible. And instead of like, thank you, that's really kind of you. So everywhere you're fighting against being small or weak, or you cannot do it, and you have to prove that you're strong and can do it all by yourself. Can we try and create that?
Yeah.
Good, and then right around from fuck all 9 shorts, points and beyond. Oh, I've had to work a lot receiving contribution from men, like carrying stuff, or like I can carry it by myself. Like all those things where you normally do it yourself, and then somebody wants to take over that, and you're like, oh, but I can do it. It like feels totally weird that somebody else should do it when you can do it. And it's been a freaking interesting ride just doing that, and in the moment just looking, that person really appreciates contributing to me, and I almost reject them for that.
Yeah, because really it's about, as I said, lower your barriers, but also like see what kind of point of views do you have about contribution or receiving or gifting, or because it's, I mean, for surely for me that's been in my way. I have point of views about, like, just like you said, Yvonne, that I wasn't good enough. I couldn't even figure out, okay, so how will people contribute to me then? Because I already have everything that I need, and therefore nothing else could and no one could contribute to me, because my glass was already full, so if you have that point of view, then it's impossible for me to give to you, or you to me, or whatever. So it's really about lowering your barriers and be willing to receive whatever, because you don't know what will be a contribution for you in the end, because when universe got your back, like, change can show up in any possible way. I bet all of you have some sort of experience around that subject.
And also the control part, because, Yvonne, you mentioned it. It is so important, okay, I'm going to get this. Anyway, I can do it by myself, and I'm going to control it. Oh, I want to be contributed, but only in this way, because this is the right way. This is the way I want it, right? And and that's lowering your barriers also, but, not willing to receive anything. Exactly like you were saying, anything can happen, and be open to the possibilities, any possibilities, be it, totally something different than what you expected, which is usually what happens. So.
I have a question about receiving, because I'm a little puzzled about what you say, Joelle, about receiving everything. And I know that's often mentioned, that we have to be willing to receive everything, and yet I don't want to receive when people are ugly to me, or is that the receiving thing? Is that I have to be able to perceive that, but don't have to receive that? Or where is that? Do I have to receive everything also? Idiots hitting on me, or people being whatever abusive to me? Do I have to receive everything? How is that? Can you clarify that a little bit to me?
let me give you an example of receiving, and it's a small, not hitting and all that. It's totally different. Okay, yesterday I had earrings, and they were pearls, and they were attached, right? And all of a sudden I'm looking at my ear, and there's no more earrings. They were hooked on, the pearls. And I said, okay, and I'm asking questions, and I just let it go. Okay, okay, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. Maybe I'll find them, maybe I forgot them in the room, and I just let it go totally, right? And then I take a bus and I go to this a place and I visit for an hour. And then I go to a restaurant to have lunch. And I'm like 3 hours away from whatever. And I looked all over the bus and everywhere. I couldn't find them. And I go into the restaurant, go into the bathroom, and there on the floor lies the pearls. I said, oh, it was like, okay, that for me. So for me, is also being open to letting go. You know, oh, this letting go totally. It doesn't mean getting hit by a bus or getting hit by somebody. No, it's just letting go. Whatever you're receiving, like those earrings, and this is something small, right? Those earrings, I let go. Okay, I lost them, and they were brand new, and I really loved them, and I really let go. Okay, universe, what is happening? You know, what would it take for me to receive those and get those and retrieve them in one way or the other? And I just let everything go. And then for me, it was the contribution of the universe, and no matter how it was going to show up, right? Does that answer your question? Or
can I add one? Because we had a conversation a little bit about this in the benevolent capitalism class, and there was this energy also like, if you do not have a point of view about anything, about receiving, like anything you're creating and whatever shows up, if you in that moment don't have a point of view about it, everything is possible. You have all possibilities open to you. Like everything's possible. But every point of view you have about it stops possibilities. And basically, benevolent capitalism was about creating and asking for possibilities. And also the one thing is not having points of view. One thing is some liking and disliking things. You can like something. You don't like all food. You like some, I mean, some love oysters, some feel it just tastes like seawater, like ocean. Is one right? Because you're supposed to like oysters because they're so expensive or luxurious. Then you have a great taste. And if you don't like it, you're wrong. No, it's just different tastes. So, but the judgment would be if oysters were bad because blah, 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 blah. So if you don't have a point of view what shows up, you have so many more possibilities to both receive more and also create more. But you don't have to like it. So you can definitely say no, thank you. But you don't do it from judgment or reaction or point of view.
Thank you. Thank you.
And then you can play with anything.
Yeah, because I think this is what we do a lot. Like we decide in advance what it's going to taste like or be like or and that's how your brain works. It's designed to figure it out before it happens.
Yeah.
So that's why you need to ask questions, because otherwise your brain is going to tell you what you like or not like. And yeah.
And by that you'll react.
Yeah.
And those reactions are just made up in that moment. But the thing is also, when there's no point of view, you have full actions. You can tell people, you can even like, if somebody's, I was thinking like hitting on you sexually, I think I was thinking about when you said, so I'm like, what was it? What did she say? You can also say whatever you like back, like anything you'd like to say, you can still be receiving. You can still be 100% receiving even if you tell them to go away in a very not so nice way. You can be fully receiving. So that's where I think sometimes we misidentify what receiving means. And I love one of the example Blossom had. I heard it many years ago in a Right Voice for You class, and it really helped me a lot. Because she basically said, if somebody's coming, it's kind of like somebody's coming to you and has made an amazing chocolate cake and is so happy about this present and gives you this present, and you receive it, and you know this person has baked it with salt and not sugar. You know it. They don't. You know it. You like you receive it and say, thank you so much. I'm so grateful. This is the best present I've ever gotten, or whatever. And then you put it on the table next to you and you appreciate it and you're grateful and you're thankful, but you don't have to eat it. You never ever have to kind of like digest the salty cake because you're supposed to receive it. So that helped me a lot. And like receiving doesn't mean anything I have to do with it. I can just be grateful for what is showing up, but I don't have to make it real or right, or, oh God, then I'm receiving really crappy stuff. No, thank you for that crappiness. I'm moving on.
Mm.
And I can just say that when it comes to playing with the universe, I often say universe is for me like my best business partner in crime. It screws with me all the time, like constantly a joke on me. Now, like anything I ask for, things show up first in very weird ways, and it has so much fun. It screws with me when I think it's going to take time, and it just shows up like that, and I'm like, oh shit! It just happens to have a really fun time with me. Do you judge yourself if it shows up in a different way than you expected to?
Yes, and I like, can you talk a bit more, something that came up while you were talking, obviously, about the connection between the distractor implants and contribution? Because I was thinking, sometimes I judge myself when the contribution comes in a different way, and sometimes I judge myself when I ask contributions from people, let's say, that I'm jealous with or angry with. So it's like I cut off my contribution from these people. And I was thinking about the connection between the distractor implants and contribution. So if you guys have any contribution regarding that.
Absolutely. So if you look at the thing, I would like to also really just ask, how much do you like to destroy your life instead of create your life?
Sounds interesting. Thank you.
Just look at it, and then whatever shows up, pot and pocket, look at it, ask it again. The self-saboteur, how much do we allow them? How much do we value it? How much do we love that energy of destroying to prove something? Everywhere we do use that against us, can we destroy and create that?
Oh, yes.
Good and bad, right and wrong, fun and fuck, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have anybody mentioned the body? Paula, what do you mean?
When you talk about contribution, and I think it's really related to the body. For me, I cannot receive and contribute without the body, and I think that the more and more I'm really a little toddler trying to find out to work with my body, but the more I do that, then they just have a different significance for me, or it just has a different meaning. So that's why I just want to have the fantastic, amazing, beautiful, fun, crazy body in here.
Joakim?
Well, I was just gonna say, don't you already have that crazy, beautiful, yummy body there?
Sure. I just wanted to mention it. I just wanted to have it, yeah.
Well, I always say that your body is like a I only know the Swedish word. Hang on. Like a fun machine that you're supposed to use, or it's there to use or to experience things through. So I would agree on you that a huge part of receiving and contribute to others and to yourself would go through your body, but it's for some people that's like a big part of it, a big chunk of it. But I bet because a lot of people can receive and through other ways, I guess, like brainiacs, they do brain stuff and
But it still have a body.
Yeah, they still have a body though. So yeah, of course, everything goes through the body, I guess. But
I'm just very inspired by reading Right Body for You at the moment.
mhm.
And one of the things I was experiencing is also the more I'm in the body, the more I am aware. If I really follow the body signals, for example, light and heavy is one of them, but if I follow the body signals, it will always lead me to more contribution and creation and in that direction. It's, for me, the problem is when I think I know more than the body, when I believe that my mind is superior to the body and I'm right and the body is wrong, or I'm right and so then I get in a problem. Then I get, but if I, the moment, I was sitting with my body and so for the first time, sort of in a different way, asking it, what did it want? And it just wanted me to smile to it because I've been sort of grumpy at it. And that was all it wanted. And I can just see when I smile to my body and I'm with it, then I contribute. Then it just, for me, takes another dimension. I'm not
Yeah.
being so clear in my language, but I hope you get some of what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but I totally get what you're saying. I totally get the energy of it because there's so many. It's almost like I hear myself saying that I'm a professional body worker, so I keep saying this to people all the time. That well, could it be that you're disconnected from your body? I say that all the time, but for me it's actually true. There's
Yes.
so many people that disconnect or just use a tiny bit of what's actually possible from your body. It's your best friend. You're walking around with your best friend and you don't talk to it.
No.
It's insane for me.
Yeah, exactly. And people think if the body, then it's sex or something in the body, but that's
Well,
it.
you can ask any type of question to your body.
Yes.
It's just, I mean, talk about being a contribution. Like, are you willing to have your body to contribute to you? Because if you are, then you're up for a ride.
Exactly.
That's my point of view.
I agree 100%. And it's a fun ride. And
It is.
then I can feel I am, but then my issues and control comes in. But I try to deal with them. Then once, I'm in control. So I deal with that and pocket pot that. And then I come back to the body. It's so much more fun. It's so much more, what you call rich, as when you talk about contribution, so much more richness in it.
Yeah.
For me, yeah. So that's why I wanted to have the body in. Yeah, the body.
Yeah. No,
You go, please.
No, I was just gonna. Yeah, but thank you, Paula. Thank you for that. But what else for you other guys? Like, if you don't have to talk, but it's so interesting to know what contribution is for you. What's your point of view? Or
I'm sorry, I was out. I was frozen. I couldn't have. I don't know if you asked me a question or somebody else or what happened.
no, I asked everyone, like, because
Great.
it's so interesting to hear what contribution is for people.
For me, it's like when I receive presence or kindness or something, and it comes a lot in a row, or yeah, sometimes I feel like, oh, it's too much. I have to like almost put my barriers up again because yeah, it's like I'm taking too much, or yeah.
Thank you. Can I comment that? Because that's I don't know if you heard or can recognize that you do that as well. Do you guys do that? Like, Here's a gift for you. Oh no, I can't take it. It's too much. It's so funny. Even though you want to, you say no. No, thanks. No, I'm fine. No, no, really, I shouldn't. How much are you doing that in your life? What if you didn't?
What if you then ask the universe to contribute to you being out of control with that?
Yeah.
You know, when I see some barrier like that, I start asking, hey, universe, can you show me how I can do this different? Or could you kind of contribute so much that I don't know, I freak out or have to let go of control, or like kind of this energy of challenging my stupidness, stupidity in the moment that I'm choosing. So I often ask for that when I'm like, but I have to be willing to go in for the ride and play with that, of course. Because of course it can be very uncomfortable. I saw it when I was limiting my income, and I could see I had full awareness of where it came from, but I also could see an energy of control. I was controlling how much came into my life. That was at least what I got aware of. And then I asked the universe, hey, can you help me here, going totally out of control with money? So I have no clue where money comes from. It just comes from everywhere and I cannot track it. And it's totally where it kind of contributes to me getting out of control. And I think it took 3 weeks and then it was there. And in the moment, and especially when I had to, because it was coming like, oh, there came money there, and then PayPal, and then cash, and most of it I could track, but at some point I'm like, why are they paying there? Who is that? And then when I had to end up doing accounting in Sweden, you have to do an invoice for every freaking person, or every month, anything that comes into your account, you have to write an invoice. And I was sitting there like, I have no idea. I think I had 3 things that came into my business in that month where I had to lie. I had to, like, I'll write somebody here. I had no idea. I could not track. And I looked through all my clients and my classes, nothing. And it literally was no names on the bank transfers either. So they really screwed with me. And I was like, this is hilarious. And then I was like, oh, fuck, I asked for exactly this. And then I just laughed at myself. Because what if I was willing to be totally out of control with receiving money was one of my questions that I was playing with. And then the next thing was in this kind of like little thing that I had, as Gary had asked a lot of the questions in class, what was money for? Like, who is using money? Who is enjoying money? Why do you have money? And he was like, you got to the point where I buy clothes for my body. I buy nice food for my body. Everything. I fly over the world and want to fly really nicely because of my body. So it ended up everything for my body. I was like, oh my God. And for me personally, I could see how much I avoided being nice to my body, being really caring and nice to my body. And it was like, I didn't choose from looking at and including that being really, really, really nurturing for me. And then I started looking at that and changing that. And then I ended up upgrading myself and buying more business tickets and all those things because it was such a nurturing thing for my body. And since I started having my body in the equation of my life, really liking it, enjoying it, it's very different when I ask questions for things. Because it keeps getting involved in everything in a very, very different way. So that's one thing I was like, oh, what else can my body contribute to me creating my life? And what have I not been willing to receive and willing to be caring and nurturing with my body?
How much turn on can your body get so you can be up to receiving absolutely everything? Really? Exactly. Paula I kept thinking about that when she was fabulous. Really.
Mm-hmm.
That is funny. Well, if you would go there, what would happen if you were orgasmic in your living?
Yes.
So listen, can you track again the question that you asked about be out of control with money? I mean, can you suggest some question there? Specific one?
I didn't really, funny enough, I didn't really have a specific freaking, I mean, we have the out of control clearing that I would run a lot. But I remember the moment I started asking for it, because I was just freaking, here's too much control. It was just, it feels like this. Instead of like, oh, I get surprised by it. And then in that moment, I'm like, and I really was just like, universe, hey, you got to help me on this one. Can you just freak me out here? Like, I had a conversation and asked it to please do something so I let go of control when it comes to my income, like what comes into my life with money. And then I started just potting pock every energy that showed up. And what energy, space, and consciousness can me, my body be to be totally out of control, receiving money. And then I was just looking at every energy that came up when I was looking at myself with money. And I was just like, hey, universe, just do whatever you know. So basically, it totally a job or whatever, a description of like, hey, freak me out, get me out of control, make sure I have no clue like where it comes from. It just a little definition in my head what that meant. I was like, I just could track everything. I just knew everything. I'm like, this is not big enough for me then. I mean, it's good that I can track things for my business, and my accounting person is really happy about that. But it was just a fun experience to sit there. I'm like, fuck, I don't. And I was like, how do I not know? And I'm like, oh, universe, you're hilarious. And I think I asked for this. This is where you can play with yourself, with your quote unquote limitations. In that moment, when I look at now, I didn't make myself wrong that I was limiting. I got aware of something that was a limitation. I didn't make it wrong. So let's play with me. And I knew maybe I'm not letting it go really quickly. So screw with me.
Okay.
So I don't have to be perfect. I'm still controlling enough, but fucking screw with me. Like, come on, let's have fun here. So I don't have the magic clearing with it, but hey, when energy, space, and consciousness can be my body be to both totally out of control with the money or receiving money.
Receiving money.
Yes, receiving money. But I could see the in words, and also I've also started asking for that in all creations, being out of control, and also really lowering this energy, lowering my barriers to whatever is here to be created. Because I'm really good at creating, but I also do it a little bit more from me instead of, whoo, I could be relaxing and receiving here and contributing. And I had just an example with Stephen Tukisa that I start working with, and they have a very different approach to things. They really live and talk and breathe, but I'm in capitalism as much as I see that being whatever it is. And they want to facilitate classes all over the world. They're just so excited. They love this. They went for Right Riches. I mean, they have 6 businesses or something. They're successful. They have money. They love money and all that. And now they're just like, oh, let's do Right Riches classes. And kind of like taking over all their time with that. And Lisa, do you want to coordinate all that? And I'm like, yes. And we're going to go everywhere. And who can we use and host and all that? And I'm like, I'll find them. And it was an energy. I'll create that. And then she says, I love, and it was sort of like, we wanted to do a call and invite hosts, like, and I was so ready just to do it. And she's like, oh, let's wait until people really request it or demand it. And I'm like, and I was like, my sister was like, but I just had a job to do it. I was like, screwed with me at that moment. I was like, but I was going for this and I'm setting it up. And she's like, oh no, let's wait until there's a little bit more demand. And I'm like, yeah, let's do that, man. And there was a certain moment I had a reaction. I'm like, but I'm creating it. And I'm like, oh, there's a different way of creating this. Oh, Lisa. Oh my God. So then it just changed that energy, and wherever I was, put a pocket, and I saw a little bit of my forcefulness, my I'll do it. And I could definitely see where the contribution wasn't there, like really allowing the whole universe to be working with us. And then it was so funny because the next day, let's do this and this again. I'm like, yes, you love screwing with me. Every day, and I was like, and fun. But it was, and they don't do it from, oh, that's what we're gonna do with Lisa. They just match the energy, whatever is there, and they really function from having fun with things. And it was not even that I wasn't having fun, but there was just different energy. They got to wear, play with it, and they switch every day. They changed, and I was like, oh, this is really gonna be fun. And I was like, what a contribution, seeing that where I could create from a different invitation. So I was like, okay, changing that, and wherever I am forcing too much or not creating a way, and where am I making it wrong, and where could I use it, create even more. So everywhere it just scrambled my universe, so I don't have it defined or solid or the way I do it. So it just opened up to more space and more tools to use. So I'm like, oh boy, how does it get any better than this? So it's just different ways of being and creating. And wherever I ask for things, because I was asking primarily, like, I want to create in a different energy, in a different way. And then just they popped up again, and I just asked them, can I work with you guys again? And it matched something in their universe. I had no idea where we were going with that. And I end up now working with them quite a lot with coordinating their classes. And I was like, wow, it still matches so the energy of changing the things in my life. And it matches an energy. And then I go for it, even how uncomfortable or it means more or less work. I really don't care. Because primarily I just want to change things. And yeah.
Yeah, you're talking, and also I think about, maybe it's but for me it's like a little aha moment. Like, if it's income, you have to let it in. So it's really simple, but for me it's now, oh, really? I have to let it get in and to come into my world. So it's also in Hebrew it's like a achnasa, to let it get inside. So maybe it's some things that I'm resisting to go in my body or in my field that affect my income.
Wow, I'm having so many aha moments while you're talking, so I don't even have a word. Like, oh God. Yes. Wow. Yes. And then, like, when I was looking at, because it was kind of the energy I was looking at, because I was seeing I can do this, but I wasn't, like, nobody could come in here. Nobody, like, and if money is everywhere, I was allowing certain amounts, and then I'm like, ooh, money in income, and then the contribution part to that. Oh my God, if I resist any of income or contribution, it's kind of like and I'm aware it's kind of hard work to contribute to me. So I was like, oh, that, yeah. And then the sense for me has been, I don't even have it that much, but there's this thing protecting myself from anybody, whatever weirdness that is. Like, that's so screwed. And there's so many kind people. There's so much. Sinia, my dog, has really taught me a lot of contribution, and she's willing to receive from anybody. She's willing to go up to any stupid person and create something with them. I'm like, where I'm like, oh my God. And she's willing to create anything. It's always from the fun of it.
I was just gonna say that is so cool, because when I hear you talking about Jutisa and Steve, is that his name?
Steven with N, yeah.
Yeah, Steven. Okay, and or Gary or Dane or whomever who creates a lot. They don't have points of views. They just go yes, no, yes, 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 no, and they don't have a point of view of, oops, yesterday I said yes, and now I'm gonna say no to Lisa. That's gonna probably create some wonkiness in her world. They just go yes, no, and same with Sinia. They just go, will you play with me? Yeah, okay, let's go. They don't use their brain to go, well, if I say no to this, then that will mean blah A B C D, and then
And she doesn't go like, in your universe, it's so funny because you'll always take a stick and go to somebody to play with. And she doesn't go like, I wonder if they want to play with me. No, she'll go up and make herself really happy. You're going to play with me, right? And she'll just great that they do it. It's very rare that they can resist her. So it's like, how much are we making ourselves irresistible to? So we're not willing to play with contribution and create those things.
So that we can prove that, well, everyone can receive but me because of this.
Yes.
We're cute, but we're not very bright.
No. I so did not like Gary's statement when I heard that time, and it's so freaking true all the time. So,
I'm unstable.
Noah, you're on the track there. Yes, you're looking at something that's really freaking cool.
Yeah, and also I'm thinking about how much are we ready to be a contribution? It's like sometimes I find myself, even when I'm becoming more accurate with how much energy I want to put into things, because in the past I was putting lots of energy in many things. I was like, oh, giving my energy to this and this and this, and sometimes it was just like slapping me in the face back, or people were just using things of mine and just, I was left behind. It was like I started in one good way, if I may say that. It is like I started to just know when to put my energy into something and when not. And sometimes I find myself still calculating my energy input, like how much do I want to contribute to something, but it's like a calculation, which I don't want to do, because I want to contribute, I want to be a contribution, I want to be contributed. So how do I distinguish, or just, release that calculation and still putting the energy in the most contributive places, and not just throwing it around and left with just a tiredness.
You become senior. You just go, want to play?
Yeah, give me a ball and I'll there. I'll be there.
You just go, yes, no, okay, cool.
Okay.
And I can say she's one of the best examples. Never gives up, never gives in. She just goes for it. If you throw her a stick, she'll not give up until she finds it. Dot.
Yeah, because
I would say next call will be with Senia. Let's play with her. Let's learn while experimenting.
And she'll look at you like, you guys are boring. Bye. If your life's here, she would definitely have a blast. Computer, she's like, oh God, this thing there. But I mean, I guess that you guys, if you have kids or around kids or animals, you see this in action very often. So it's not that it's only senior, it's rare. It's very often around us. And it's almost like we're not willing to see it, because if we were aware of it, we would have to see, like, we would get aware of what's possible for us also to choose. And I'm just very grateful that she's in my life and chooses to be in my life and shows me all of this, and I get to see it, experience it, and oh my God, she's brilliant at certain of those things where I'm like, oh freak, why am I that hard to get this and make it so hard on me? Because I can sense she doesn't have barriers to the universe or through the world. I don't sense any barriers in her system. And I'm like, freaking crazy. And I was like, I can sense mine. Why? How come do I even have a barrier? What does that even create? What would happen if I didn't have any? Isn't that maybe most natural state that we could be living in?
I was just gonna say that if you look at kids, like I have 3 bonus kids, and it's so funny because it's say that I'm alone with the kids one night or whatever, and then I'm thinking like, okay, so let's play this safe. I make their favorite food, And as far as I'm concerned, it's salmon. And they go, I don't want salmon. I'm like, but you loved it like last week. That was your favorite food. Yeah, but that was last week. I don't like it now. They don't go, but they don't have any point of views. They just go, I don't love this. I love this. It's like, and I think they are the question. They know what they desire. It's just us that have a fully developed brain that thinks too much, basically. Just ask questions. Yeah, be more like a kid. We should wear diapers. That makes it easier. Walk around with diapers and.
You're bad.
No.
You're absolutely bad now.
Yeah.
Just not thinking.
Yeah, but I do it too. It's like, but I look at the kids and I just go, oh, they can learn. They can help me here.
So what would happen if we chose or would have that as a target to walk around in the world and not have barriers and be willing to be connected with everything and see like what would happen if I asked for contribution and I was willing to also acknowledge that I'm a contribution?
Exactly.
What would happen? And even if it doesn't have a definition, I have to do that, then I am a contribution. I mean, I assume you guys understand the concept. If you're happy, it creates like joy around you, that it does have ripple effects. And that's the basic I always can go back to if I'm judgmental against myself. I was like, well, when I'm happy, it does create something, Lisa. And I'm like, yes, okay, I can't deny that one. I can absolutely not argue against that one anymore. So I use that as a basic one when I want to make myself wrong. And then I'm like, okay, listen, okay, you can choose to be different in this world and you can choose to create your world here. And then I can't buy into what everybody else is saying it is. And even if I hear everybody else being negative or against or even whatever, it's like, yeah, but in my world, I'll choose something different. And I don't know but I've been perceiving lately, the more I choose it, it's more like alive everywhere. It's almost like I can perceive more the molecules being alive around me and people being in their certain energy and talking in differently. I was like, this is freaking cool, but I guess I have to first start it for it to be more alive and also for me to see it or acknowledge it around me. So like, what would you like to ask for you that could change your world and can change our world?
That's a really good question.
Fabulous.
And I'm so truly grateful. So many people, I mean, I see me choosing changing things. It makes it easier for other people to be around me too. And I'm so grateful working with people that are amazing people and friends and colleagues and all the translators and exes. I'm like, wow, this is incredible. And just working with Joelle and Joakim and Louise with our event in Spain. I was like, I don't know. It's been changing so much in my world, looking at if I was living from the questions, if I was willing to be a benevolent capitalist, what would I create? What would I choose? And we're just creating a little bit of a platform for a week to see how would that be to live that. So that's one thing I just wanted to mention because it's absolutely intense in my universe, going to there, being that, and really just choosing to have that as my reality with a whole amazing group of people, like a whole group, and not just like, what if? No, we're living it. We're going to choose it. And having that as my demand for myself. Just, you know, let's say not comfortable, but freaking amazing energy. So, I'm so grateful for you guys.
Thank
you. I'm just feeling it, really what creation is going to come out of that. Oh my God, it is so fabulous. What possibilities. It's just And what contribution can the environment be? You know, the land, the horses, everything. See, I'm right now in Vancouver and you're talking about contribution. I walk around and everything is a contribution. Even the buildings are smiling at me. I mean, the land, everything, everything. It's like, oh, and same thing in Spain. That place is like totally magnificent. The land, and I haven't been there, and I said, oh, the land, the water, because there's water, the horses. Every time I see one, it's like, oh, you know, where are we going? Really, it's so beautiful, and that is really a big part for me of accepting that contribution, accepting to receiving, to be part of that. And it can be lower your barriers, but for me, it's really being with nature and opening up to everything. I mean, I just adore that. Oh, it's orgasmic, really.
And I don't know if you guys can perceive the energy right now. And I think if I would ask Yvonne now the question, if she was willing to allow us to contribute to her, there might be a very different energy than when we started off. And maybe if you just perceive that for your own universe, how different it is. I perceive in my universe at the moment, yeah, I would be willing to allow it for everybody here to do that. For me personally, it's so nurturing at the moment. So I'm like, oh, I'm so really grateful for that space. And it is everybody of us choosing it. Otherwise, it would tweak somewhere in our universe if we weren't choosing that. So that's why I love these calls or creations, because it's every person here that is choosing. Otherwise, I can just walk around here and talk to Sinja all day. I will. That can work really nice. We do a lot of that, but it's kind of really awesome to be around you guys, because it does create something different in me too.
You know, I just wanted to share another thing. It's like I started yesterday. I just, after the Bechamex things and everything, I just I felt the need to do the 3-day challenge of who does it belong to. So I started this today, and it's really, really interesting because it's like today I started to realize that even when I'm sending back to sender all those things, and there are many, many things, it is a contribution to all the people that are getting those things back with consciousness, and to the people that send us, you know, at all the 350, hundreds people, 350,000 people that are affected by that. So it's like every place that I'm sending back something, it's a contribution, not only for me and clearing for me, and also for all those people. So it's like when I do the work and when I'm getting or choosing more of myself, I'm contributing to many, many people. So it was like, wow, that's another way of thinking, another paradigm. Again, it's like, it's a da moment of access, but it's yet an aha moment for me, in a way.
That's oh, thank you so much. Oh, I guess I was like, we can continue quite long with this energy, but I think you guys have, are you guys good? Do you want to talk more? I'm pretty much in this space where I'm like, wow, I just want to walk around and receive this and see what else is possible with this energy. So thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much. I think somebody's calling Joelle in her hotel room. In time.
Universe's contribution.
Really. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining and being and creating this together.
Thank you. It was really good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.